Are we on? We are live. All right.
Awesome.
Welcome, guys. How's it going?
Wonderful. How you doing?
Awesome. Good. Well, welcome. We're live from New York City.
Hey, that's right.
Sweet. It's Crypto's Got Talent, episode 5. Second episode that we have. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's introduce the panelists for today and then the first project that is going to pitch. First panelist, we have, everybody knows Aaron.
Let's go. So happy to bring everyone here together in New York. Honestly, like we did our last one in Denver together, and we had some issues with the mic and everything. But this time let's do it properly. We have had like 3,000 people at one time viewing in Denver.
Yeah.
So let's give them a good experience this time and
Exactly.
have some fun.
Exactly. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm
Let's go.
excited. Nice. Dill.
Hey everyone, my name is Dylan. I'm a research analyst at Masari, covering primarily DeepIn. Very excited for all our projects today.
Awesome. And yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting for the projects because we have us plus pretty prominent DeepIn analyst and a pretty prominent DeepIn project. Rob, how you doing today?
Good. I'm Rob, one of the co-founders of Demo, which is a mobility-focused DeepIn project.
Nice. All right, let's no, before we kick this off, I almost forgot, guys. So Aaron and I, when we decided that we were gonna do this, we're like, we need a theme song. So then Aaron one day just basically sent this. We're not gonna listen to the whole thing, but just feel the vibe.
High budget.
AI is an amazing thing.
I like it.
AI is an amazing thing.
That's what I listen to when I work out now.
AI.
Yeah.
AI
Maybe in
beat
the
too?
Rocky 4 scene when he's in the Lambo.
Is it an AI beat also?
Yeah. Everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can
Crazy,
choose
right?
the type of melody, like a rapper or
Yeah. You can put in inspiration.
What app is this?
I'll let you know after.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Let the people know.
Get one for Demo. Let's go.
Make that crypto deal, guys.
Hey.
Let's go do it.
Need that app.
Nice. All right, let's kick this off, guys. Well, we have about an hour, so we're gonna have 5 projects today. I think let's give maybe 10 to 12 minutes per project.
Sure.
First project today is Gargoyle. So guys, maybe enlighten us for like 7 to 8 minutes, and then we'll ask some questions.
Okay.
Drop some comments. See what's up. Let's go.
all right, Mike. Pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. It started with a buddy of mine in LA was robbed. They took the safe out of the second floor, but in order to know when he left his house, they used the drone to see him depart. And then during the robbery, they used the drone as well. So we go back a couple of years. We're going to work on a project together. We'll get a bit into our backgrounds, which is relevant. But I was like, surely there's a ring nest for drone detection, and there's not. And so we started going on this path last summer. We built a prototype. People wanted to buy it from us. We had all these security companies come to us because robberies are happening every day. And if you're going to rob someone, like, why would you not have eyes in the sky as coverage? So then it got even bigger and bigger, and we started realizing that municipalities want it, police enforcement, hospitals, casinos, beyond just stadiums and airports, which have the radar systems now. So we created a DeepIn project to be able to incentivize people to put them on the roofs, buy the one-to-one digital memberships beforehand, so essentially sponsoring them. And then we share the revenue that comes in from the municipalities with the people who put the nodes on their roofs. We detect friend or foe. There's a lot of friendly drones out there. And if you think there's going to be the future is going to be autonomous and AI and unmanned, then we're going to be collecting that data. So from 0 to 900 feet, we collect the data, whether it's good or bad. And we also get data. We can package that up in terms of where are all the Amazon deliveries happening in Phoenix right now, where all the photographer, where the sales are going right now. That's all edge data that we can capture, but also we capture the nefarious data and potentially robberies and other things that are happening there.
Because again, you're creating IoT system that is composed of like 90 units. Those units are incentivized by an individual installing them on their own roofs or in areas that are above ground. And basically what's happening is you not only are getting the benefit of using a unit that is providing you awareness from potential aerial threats, right? Because UAV are going to be potentially aerial threats, but you're also being part of a network. And that type of network collects data, and the data set can be sold and can be used for many different reasons. And so the reason the different side, as Mike mentioned, is why don't actually incentivizing people of installing it, not just for the security purposes, but to be part of the network, they will be rewarded with the value of the data that they're collecting with the hardware, and making sure they're also keeping the hardware active, right? Because if you try to do this from a government perspective, it becomes extremely expensive and, of course, unreasonable from a perspective of the taxpayer purposes. But then, from a smart city approach, you're really helping, or you're incentivizing the citizens of actually adding value to the city itself, and this becomes something you can use for on a county level, on a city level, on a becomes even on a region, on a state level, because these sensors are all connected together, and so they communicate with each other through the cloud, and the data set is extremely valuable, especially if you're in an area of that has some security concerns, like near airports or near hospitals or near certain areas that drones might not be allowed. But in general, our data that are going to become way more relevant when drone deliveries is going to come out of the pilot projects and are going to become more widespread. Then you're really going to have to understand where are they, what are they, and the direction that they're going, and how they're all connected.
We've got the latest. We just got back from Estonia. We trained with the Ukrainian NATO drone commands to see the latest in drone detection and what's happening now, because they're holding the front line. So we met with the trainers to train the 200 pods that are holding the line right now on how to build drones, how to detect, and how to train their pilots on dropping. Quick background on ourselves. I was at Filterbox. We were in the first ever TechStars class in Boulder, Colorado. We did social media monitoring. We had Ping GNIP next door, which is Ping spelled backwards. So with the APIs, and we were acquired by Jive Software, then went to Midtown with News Corporation. So about 50,000 employees, 20th Century Fox, Wall Street Journal, training journalists how to use Twitter back in the day, help put Rupert Murdoch on Twitter, help the hashtag launches and everything back in the old Web 2 days. Fast forward a little bit, went to BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, kicked off the initial Bitcoin custody program, which took 7 8 years to actually come out. And went to Web3, accidentally started Empire DAO, which was a Web3 community center where we tokenized real estate. And we had a lot of deep in projects in there, including Helium. So I was really on the ground to see how this started and whatnot. And then when we met with the Department of Defense, we went down to Virginia, met with all them. We have capability, but not capacity. How can we incentivize people to put these on their roofs? And I'm like, oh, I've got experience. I've got too many Heliums right now. But this is kind of what really inspired. Like, we need to create this deep in network yesterday to it's not an if, but when the next terrorist attack is going to be either domestic or international, it's going to be using drones. Because what happened, what we saw in Ukraine is fiber optic, which is like a wire, so they can't knock it out with radio frequency, happened. And then a month later, as the Russians made it, a month later, Ukrainians did. 2 months later, Chinese are selling on Alibaba for $200. A month later, it's in Myanmar. It's in Colombia. So all the things that we're seeing now on the war front always end up coming to the citizens, but it's coming fast. And we need to prepare for this yesterday. So that's why we want to create this network to help protect our assets and our citizens.
Amazing. I mean, that was a 5-minute pitch, but like perfect. I think we got all the info that we wanted. I have a soft spot because, there is some Italian in the team. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let's go. Questions?
Tell us about the device. Is it working today? Is it one per neighborhood, one per house?
There's a POC that we developed on our kitchen table, and is able to detect some specific drones that we want to make sure were detectable.
By sound, by
both. It's radio frequencies and acoustic. So a lot of the sensors that are out there are extremely expensive because they're based on either radar based or they're radio frequency based, but they have extremely wide range. So we're talking about kilometers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's or miles. And the reason why is because they're designed for battlefield. Put them into open battlefield, and they are able to detect threats coming from fire. In our case, you don't have to do that because I know that can just cover the side of the house. And so, in terms of detection range, we're considering 900 feet of 1,000 feet of detection range, and I'm getting confused with the meters and
Imperial system just doesn't make sense. It's fine.
Well, got feet.
Oh my god.
And so you're able to basically.
We're starting a side beef here. System.
Oh yeah.
You guys can have it. Although I will say, I think Fahrenheit is superior to Celsius.
I think Kelvin is the ultimate.
Anyway, we're getting.
Well, does that answer your question?
So sound detection mainly. You said it can detect friend versus foe.
Radio frequency.
Yeah.
Well, sound and radio frequency.
And so how do you detect friend and foe?
Because some of the drones that are out there being used, they actually have a specific ID. So if you're
The license plates are.
exactly,
It's
a
a-
digital one.
It's a license plate. If you're legal, you have to have one of those and report your mission.
So
So
if you don't have it,
every Walmart, Amazon drone delivery has one.
His drone. The one
Yeah, absolutely.
he needs
Do you
to have it.
report your mission to just like fly around the neighborhood and take some?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a Part 107 license. You're a pilot. You're an airline. You have an aircraft in the field.
What about the
doing it
ones that
commercial.
they're like line of sight only ones?
Same.
Those same.
If you're more than 0.250 grams, you need to actually have that.
Interesting. Okay.
And so you basically become a pilot because a drone by FAA is considered an aircraft, no matter what. That's
Okay.
why every pilot has to have, every person who wants to fly a drone has to have a
Commercially.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And are you checking if they've like deviated from where they've said they're supposed to be?
Now that's something that right now is not necessary. I mean, you don't do a flight path. You understand if the guy is actually using the drone, is a legit drone.
If it's registered or not. Yeah.
But also imagine that, right? Scenario. You're in your home, you are in the office, and all of a sudden you see a drone roaming around your house. What is doing there? I mean, right?
See the Drake video recently?
That's exactly, yeah. Yeah.
You guys see that?
That's the point.
Yeah, that turned into a Hollywood Reporter article. It just
Yeah.
dropped mentioning guardrail assistance today.
And then that's used.
Yeah.
That's an example, right?
Yeah.
Or another example is you see a drone passing by, and because that ID goes back to a whitelist register that we have for an Amazon drone, that's an Amazon drone, so you're not concerned, right? So it becomes a way of collecting data of drones that are legit, or understanding if the drone is not legit, which can be a clueless pilot, it can be a careless pilot, or it can be a criminal, right? A person that really doesn't want to be identified. And so in that sense, it becomes a potential threat. And you can immediately flag it and track it as well.
If I go to the store and buy a drone, am I registering it there?
Where
If you want to stay legal, you do it at home. Yeah. There is the smaller ones, and they have 4K cameras now, so you can now do one that's and that's why
Yeah.
but
They're gonna be dark.
different. It's the point is the battery doesn't last that much, and the payload is very low, so you can already do much damage.
Yeah.
You can only see it.
Can you talk a little bit deeper about the difference between radio frequency plus acoustics versus the radar,
Sure.
and like the price difference, like, and also just like technology wise?
100%. Look, what's happening is radar is you're emitting beams, radio frequency beams, and when you hit something, it comes back, and you basically identify that there is something, right? It's extremely expensive because you need multiple arrays of probes and highly sophisticated software to basically post-process the way these radio frequencies are basically coming and going. When you start to go into the more radio frequency based, you have an antenna in the same way that your phone basically receives the signal from the closest cellular tower, and it basically thinks if there is a radio frequency of a certain frequency around. So the reason why it tends to be a little cheaper, actually, way cheaper on the radio frequency, is because first of all, the complexity that comes from the array of sensors and probes is completely different than the one from radar. The second one is that the post-processing for the frequencies is also on the easier way of actually executing it. And then the reason why we considered implementing the acoustic side on the drone is because, as Mike mentioned, some people are now starting by experiencing what we've seen in Ukraine in the battlefield, but also drug cartels on the borders are actually using fiber optic drones, because fiber optic drones don't emit radio frequency. So those radio frequency sensors cannot see those drones. And the only way to see them is by hearing them. And so the best way to have a sensor fusion approach, which allows also for high redundancy, is to have acoustic. So acoustic is also on the cheaper side because microphones, honestly, unless we're considering microphones that are extremely high end, they're particularly inexpensive and affordable. So if you start to put them together, it becomes an affordable system that can be used and purchased by individuals and be part of it.
Last sentence, we do have some revenue. We already have some paying customers. So
Amazing.
On the demand side, who could you go a bit more into
Yeah.
like who specifically are your customers and like
Yeah.
how much coverage you need to provide for this data to actually be
Sure.
valuable?
So I'll give a few examples. It's B2B2B almost. It's the security providers that provide it for other companies, right? So one of the banks, for example, wants all their data centers covered. So it's going to take about 6 for each data center. And then they also want their executives. So after what happened with United Healthcare, they want gargoyles to be on their executives' roofs as well. And then when they go to conferences, they want them there so they can know if anything's going on there. So potential murders of executives and whatnot. And then we've got a lot of HOAs. A guy, he's pre-ordered 500. He's like, I've got over 500 customers. 2 of the houses were robbed and they used drones during what I explained earlier. He's like, I'm just adding it as a line item to all of them. Every one of my customers, I already set up their Wi-Fi, I set up their network, I set up their cameras. I'm also setting up Gargoyle. So that's who we're getting right now, security providers who want it.
And eventually, the idea is to end up having a tool or a unit or a product like the Blink camera of drone protection, right? So you end up purchasing from either catalogs online from the suppliers or even Amazon.
Or we pay you because
Exactly.
we need the data. So that's what we're a data company, first and foremost, using AI to detect the different patterns of what's happening up there, and then crypto on the back end in terms of how we distribute and ship it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, I honestly would say I'm talking like much longer.
Yes.
But
Thanks for letting us
yeah,
go.
we gotta have like room for the other people. But
Yep.
yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks,
Let's
guys.
chat
Yeah,
more.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask about ecosystem, when we're gonna see you guys live, but
That's coming,
exactly.
Q3.
Sweet.
I'll launch a DPIN for drones for criminals.
They're out there.
So they can use them to rob places, and together we'll generate a lot of business for each other. There's Spexy.
Would a system that has the freezing point at a 30 something and a boiling point
How
completely
often?
random,
How often
like,
do you care about what water temperature boils at? Don't you just want to know if it's warm
I
outside?
find it simple that it's like, okay, it freezes at 0, it boils at 100, divide this in equal units, and
Here's why Fahrenheit is great. It's because I can't claim ownership. I forget where I heard this from, but I like this. Fahrenheit is the percent hot that it is.
Then-
Percent hot.
what does that mean?
If it's 70% hot outside, that's perfect. If it's 100% hot outside, it's 100% hot. It's too hot.
Oh,
So 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 100% hot, too hot. 70%, 7 degrees,
oh my
Perfect.
God, this
We're
just blew my mind.
30%. That's not very hot. It's kind of cold. 0% freezing. Like really cold. It's a percent hot.
It's not as accurate, but I like that it's about.
I like to think that's where it actually came from. But I don't know. Probably not.
I like it.
Who
Hello,
knows?
guys.
Who
Welcome.
knows? I'll give you centimeters, meters. That's better.
But in 3 inches.
Kilograms, pounds, who
5/8,
cares? It's the same
yeah.
thing.
So it's not dragging in front of you. Just put it in your pocket. You don't want to have that thing.
What do you guys think about
Yeah,
that
that's
one? I thought it was pretty cool.
That's one of our creative use cases. It actually sounded
Yeah,
useful.
yeah.
I'm just like how big
Perfect
is
timing, right?
how
Crazy.
much coverage do you need for this to be like useful? Like that wasn't clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
you asked.
Like,
but we didn't
they're
have
like
enough time.
like are they deploying it themselves? It was like that's not really how deep it usually works.
I think they're incentivizing people, but yeah.
Because like if you're like
Awesome. Okay, what's next? Who do we have here? Welcome,
Uh,
guys.
hey.
It's the first time I kind of meet you, except in the corridor, like quickly. But yeah, what are your names? What's
Yeah.
what
Oh,
project are you representing?
I'm Cozy. I work with Axel. I lead Grip.
And then Ash, founder of Axel, do everything these days. Yeah.
Awesome.
I like that. What's Axel?
Yeah. So I'll go very briefly at the start. We're believe in like an active internet. So we what that means is right now, pretty much every like way you use the internet is likely in some capacity just getting information. Like obviously generative AI gets you information, spits it out. We think agentic AI is the next step. What does that mean? Agents for us or any third party that goes and does a task for you. What makes us a little different is we use the intent solver architecture that like across Uniswap X, TauSwap does. And we believe that could be applied to generalized tasks. But our first step to get to that future is autopilot.
Yeah, I mean, Autopilot's sort of like app one on this network for like agents that can do arbitrary tasks. Picture Robinhood or Wealthfront, like super intuitive UI that everyone's seen. Drag some sliders, create your custom portfolio, and copy create others. On ramp, spin up a wallet for you, sign in with Google or like Twitter or something else. Under the hood, this exact architecture that Cozy was just describing, like we're running RFQ systems or other mechanisms to find counterparties to go and do the tasks, like to buy your dream portfolio of like Bitcoin and Ethereum and like the top 100 memes today. We'll go and auction that off. Whoever can do it fastest and cheapest wins. We prove that they've done it. They get slash rewarded accordingly. I think that theme of like state your intent, Axel will source and verify an agent to go and do that job, and then they get punished or rewarded accordingly. That applies to everything. Like Autopilot's app one, down the line, it could be sports betting, it could be travel planning, like any task that you can verify, you can create a market around it. Polymarket's a great example of what you can do at scale. Their verification mechanism is just UMA, like purely an optimistic oracle, potentially not as endgame as ZK. But if you can create a market for people to vote and have some sort of outcome, let's move beyond information and get to tasks. And my tasks are very literal. It's like I need to swap, bridge, tell me what the weather is in New York, go and buy me a croissant. Like any task that you can verify, you can outsource. And I think that's sort of the end game when you think about like bringing guardrails to a very agentic future.
How do you verify a croissant?
Yeah. So for something that's super real world, for public real world information, you can use an optimistic oracle. For something like proof of ordering, you could do ZKTLS or like ZKTLS to prove that some exact API was called. T's get interesting. Like you could have some like external party running all their code in T to like call the Uber API or call the DoorDash API. And we know for sure that they've done it. You could do stuff like proof of receipt or like proof of photos and stuff, but I'm sure this will all be gamed in the future. It's not as strong. If I had like the ultimate guarantee you have is that there's some on-chain proof of something being true. That requires, let's say, like a T or ZKTLS. So right now we're obviously starting with what's easy to verify and still has demand. It's like Across doesn't pitch themselves as like this intense-based bridge. They pitch themselves as like the fastest, cheapest way to bridge. And they win because of the architecture. We want to do the same thing. It's like what's easy to verify and create these markets, prove that this style of architecture works, then go beyond to the harder to verify stuff. But very much outside of crypto is the goal.
Goal is not to be the best at verifying like in-house. We're not trying to build that. We're trying to go to whoever is the best at doing that and like use their architecture.
Yeah. Same thing for the
100%.
agents. It's like we're not in the business of building agents long term. Today we're doing it all. Like we're building the front end, we're building the agents, we're sourcing and verifying like ourselves for now. The goal is like once you have the demand in the workflow, get more folks competing. Competitive free markets are amazing, probably the best thing that humanity has like ever created, but counterparty risk is high. Like blockchains allow you to eliminate counterparty risk, and like the outcomes from that are absurd. Like what you can do in a world with zero counterparty risk is like the act of creation is instant. Like I could have a ChatGPT style UI where it's like I just state what I want, some engine compiles that into a subset of tasks that other people go and do. I don't think about doing it at all. And I have guarantees that the best is doing it because there's some competition or some optimizing mechanism, like an auction.
Goal is to be the universal task engine.
I like that. Poke holes, guys.
How far have you guys gotten so far?
Yeah, so idea was, let's say, like August, small pre-seed around that. Team is like formed around me, let's say like October. Public beta of Autopilot, so this app one focused on trading, ran from Halloween until end of January, I think, something like that. We had like around 5,000 beta users, which is crazy considering it's not real money, like just people playing around with UI, seeing it, like poking holes in that, and that was a good experience. Went live with Autopilot yesterday, and it's a great test of the architecture. Like in our head, it's not just like we're building a standalone app and then build a network around it. We're halfway through the network itself, and now it's like that the app is live and it has order flow. And we think this is the main issue with crypto. Like too many people have like built out the network without building a use case for the order flow. And like for us, it's like get the app, start to build out the network, build proving systems for the really specific things that that app needs, and then over time build everything else. So that's the status. Like app is live. You guys can use it. Literally just ax.al. You can click one button, go and use use it on your phone. The goal is for you to be able to onboard like anyone with this thing, and then hopefully in a few months we have more random apps, and then by the end of the year, 3 to 5 apps that we built ourselves. Network is fully good to go, and there's an SDK. Like any random developer can go in. The replacement of backend API calls when you're first learning how to code is like intent request to Axel. Like you just submit these intent requests. Your entire app is floating on the sea of agents that are doing these jobs for you.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just your one agent.
Right now, it's our one agent doing tasks related to autopilot.
Mhm.
Hopefully in a month, and that we've spoken to like all the solvers for like top ecosystems today. Without order flow, nobody gives a shit about anything. Very understandable. It's just like this kid talking about this idea. Once we have order flow, it's in there. The pitch is very simple. It's like free order flow to you if you can beat my shitty solver. Like 100%.
And is that auction like Marketplace Live today? It's just there's one robot winning it every single time, one agent winning every time, but is it ready for the second one to come?
So it's no permission, and like crypto, it's totally like CowSwap is totally permission. Like it's the most centralized.
sure.
Like you see the 30 people every time. Uniswap X is also very permission. Our goal is to be totally permissionless. That'll probably be in like a month.
Great.
I don't care if it's totally permissionless and it's just me and somebody else because order flow's not at the right level, but like get the architecture there and then start attracting more people as order flow goes up.
What do you think will be the first non-token acquisition thing that is done with Axel?
Yeah, I think we both have different hopes for this. We did like a college tour, so I could like colleges in Canada and then colleges in Boston. So I went to 5 cities at literally 5 days. I know exactly what I want to do. I know where I want to be and I know what time I want to be there. It's just like actually booking it is really frustrating. And I totally would be willing to pay someone a percentage of what I'd be willing to pay in total to go and like actually make sure that I go and buy a rail in Canada from Montreal to Toronto on time. So I think travel makes a lot of sense. I think that's it. We actually met like a really like senior person at one of these like travel aggregators. Yeah, yeah. So we met the head of Google Flights, and like pretty much what he was saying is that like a lot of people enjoy traveling or planning their travels, which we fully agree. I think where I disagree with that though, and like some principle, is the fact that people don't like booking it. Like I knew I wanted to go from like Boston to Barnstable this weekend, but I didn't want to like actually go and find out that this bus comes at this time, and some like third party, be that down the line some form of AI, or right now like some form of third party kid who's just scraping the internet. Collects a fee, is able to go and do this for them.
Yeah.
And where do you disagree?
I just have a different example. I'll give it to you. This one came up a few days ago. Like I'm a degenerate gambler. I'm very bad at it. Like drafting, I do like next field goal. It's like the most like unlucky thing imaginable. One of my friends has like a much more straightforward thing. It's like if the natural language, if the odds of the Celtics winning the championship, according to ESPN, go above 80% this week, I want to pool a lot of money on this. I'm like them winning the chip. But if at any point from now until the playoffs, their odds go below 50, cash out of the bet. Like I made a tournament. I stated my intent in 5 seconds to you guys. To actually go and do this is a huge nightmare. Like he doesn't know how to write code at all. It's just like working some like not technical at all. He has to go check ESPN every day for the rest of the week, go and see what the odds are. Then he has to figure out which sports book has the best odds for him to go and place his bet, maybe. Then he has to monitor odds for the rest of the season to see what they become. Then maybe cash out of that when that occurs. Very manual, very painful. Each of these subtasks can be verified in Appstores. So ESPN odds, like this, you can just use Umaport. You don't even need to get TLS. Like they're already doing it. Live Market Sports is like their whole thing, and they have Instagram ads for like regular people. It's like that's easy to verify. Task 2 of placing the bet, probably some TC, TLS kind of thing for like which sports book is best. And you could hard code it. You could say between DraftKings and FanDuel and something else. I don't care which one is the best. Just go and buy. Task 3 is again event listening by Uma. Task 4 is again placing a bet. Like me, like Axel, without doing any custom work, can write primitives to verify arbitrary types. In my head, the types off-chain or like proof of API call or proof of website state being true. Random people are submitting intents where they're filling in that data. We're just auctioning that off. So the market for who's going to tell me ESPN odds is very different from like the market today for like CowSwap or Uniswap. Very different entities, but it's still in somebody's interest to go and do the job. Because my friend's totally willing to pay a couple bucks or a couple bits off of like every transaction in exchange for somebody doing this whole job. I think like that is the magical automated future. Like anybody in New York would agree. It's like we will live in a world where I just state what I want and it happens. How do you actually get there? You need guarantees and you need competitive auctions. And that's my why for it. It's like guaranteed.
Pretty scary. Anything you say happens. Somebody else does it for you.
Well, you think about it, that's like the travel agent example. Like travel agents used to be like a really big thing, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's not really a thing anymore. I guess. Do you want to explain why?
That's
Why like normal travel agents?
Yeah, just a normal travel
Yeah,
agent.
I mean, I think it's probably just like, and people are annoyed, it costs a lot of money. Like, and I actually think that's where the Google Flights guy is correct. Like, people do enjoy it. Like, I mean, a lot of our friends like work in like more corporate jobs, so like it's their catharsis to go and plan. And like that was kind of the feedback we got. But I think like the counter to this is literally like if I asked you like what is the best train service between like Kitchener, Ontario, and Toronto, you probably wouldn't know. Like I don't know.
I'm from Canada, so
Oh,
I actually do.
fun. Yeah. Well, so, like,
I take it
for
with me.
most people in this room, they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But it's viral.
So you guys Toronto based?
No.
No. We were
You're just a fan.
well, Waterloo's cracked. Like it's like such a
Yeah.
school for like, recruiting kids.
Yeah.
So like best, they have to like work. They have the co-op program.
Yeah.
So it's like great. I think Jesse from Base said it's like the backbone for Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Our CEO went there and I had
Oh, yeah.
research, and my little sister's there right now, so I go all the time.
It's a great. Kitchener's a little weird town, but like,
Yeah, it's
like
not the best city,
yeah,
but amazing school.
a brilliant school.
Yeah.
So I think people enjoy planning, but they don't actually enjoy executing. That's exactly where you like the intent is like I want to be at these places at this time, at this cost or whatever. And third party goes and does it for me. I don't care if that third party is a click worker in the Philippines or if it's like an AI agent.
Could you run us through like the UX, or, like the user flow, just like using Axel?
Yeah, so I mean, it's very app dependent. So with autopilot, like literally picture the front. We can show you guys an after. It's just like for creating, it's like sign with Google. Don't have to have crypto at all. Go to a screen where you see rough categories that we've predefined, and you can also create a custom index. So you can drag sliders between blue chips, stables, DeFi, L2s. We just got a couple below. Info tips everywhere, so you can get a sense of what's going on. Create a custom index. Next step, sub advanced permissioning, like limit orders, whatever. Just check the boxes. 20 seconds, get exposure down. Like that is the flow. After that, it literally looks like Robinhood. So you got a chart dashboard, you got a view report page where you can copy your people, like very app specific. Like everything on the tech side is like under the hood. It's like even if you're a developer and you're building an app that's like totally just like you're outsourcing, let's say a complex multi-step on-chain task like treasury management for user engagement, and it's just a set of API calls to Axel. Like we handle the sourcing of a party to do the job, verifying it, and then giving you some sort of outcome response as a result. So for the travel planning app, it'll probably look like travel apps. For somebody making like sports betting, probably looks like DraftKings. It's like whatever you want it to be. Almost.
Emphasis on this is like like crypto is where we're like starting with autopilot, but down the line we definitely think that this is actually like a blockchain for verifying like something actually happening is like, as Ash says, like probably the best use case for a blockchain. So down the line, like we want this to not feel like crypto at all. We want it to feel like it's a travel site.
And it's like we're like, why do you need crypto? Like if you ask like for any of the examples that Jacob and I gave, it's like you could do this yourself. If you trust somebody else, you could try to build it yourself. There are many reasons why that's bad. Like it's not flexible, and like the trust part is really bad. If you're paying for money for any service, like you won't let. I'm sure you guys all saw like the open operator demo. It's like this thing can book a restaurant reservation for me. I don't care if it fucks up because it's just like reservation. It's not that deep. But like, am I going to trust it to spend thousands on flights? Oh no. Am I going to trust it to like move my money around for any task? Absolutely not. Like anything where you like really care about optimizing and you want guarantees, or you just like if your money is at stake.
Yeah.
Care about it.
And we've been talking a lot, but I want to give one final example. Like there are things that you can do right now that you probably wouldn't trust the internet to do for you. Going back to that phrase, active internet. Like your wedding, you probably wouldn't cater your wedding through Uber Eats for multiple reasons, but the biggest is like there's no counterpart, there's no guarantee that your counterparty will do exactly what you tell them to do. And that's exactly where, in theory, like this idea of verification for agents matters the most. Like you wouldn't trust it for booking your like wedding or planning your wedding food or whatever, or like booking your one big vacation for your family. You're spending like tens of thousands of dollars, your normal family, like it's not something you'd like necessarily trust. And that's what we're trying to do, build trust for complex multi-step tasks.
Nice. Wow. And that was perfectly on time. Guys, that was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. And let's chat maybe afterward. But
Sure.
love to catch up more.
Yeah, check out the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it
We're
out.
live right now, actually.
Awesome.
ax.al
Yeah,
/autopilot.
Great plug.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet.
All right. See you later, guys.
Cool.
Sweet. Hello.
What's up? Good.
Thank
Just
you.
grab a seat.
Welcome.
Catching fire.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Like when you see Crypto's Got Talent sitting in the corner of your screen, it's a pretty attractive thing to click on. You know,
It's good. It's a good name.
it's working.
I mean, it's fun. The main thing is that we're having fun.
36 live.
No, we're
Well,
good. Claire, we're
It
good.
says, yeah.
Because
Wow.
he has the mic there. Yeah, we're good. I did it.
We're unmuted.
We have Claire, by the way,
we're unmuted.
everybody behind the camera, and she's doing
Claire,
amazing work.
Are
So
we unmuted?
no, I am muted. It's
Oh,
all
you're
good.
unmuted.
Yeah,
Okay, got you.
I just wanted to give a you know,
Cool.
shout out to Claire.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Maybe just bring the mic a little
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Sebastian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Tell us more. Enlighten us.
Yeah.
What
So-
project are you representing? What's going on?
Yeah, so about 6 months ago, I was doing bankruptcy restructuring, representing the creditors of Celsius Block by Voyager. Ended up leaving that job and starting the company Indexify. It allows people to create structured products or portfolios or indexes without having to be a registered security advisor or registering the product as a security. So we create a social mechanism, a social investing mechanism where people can monetize their portfolios without actually having to invest. And it creates a nice social economy for people to share their investments.
What's the different way of approaching it that makes it not a security, not a problem, all that?
Yeah, so the way that the actual purchasing mechanism works is you're actually mirroring the creator. So when the creator goes and creates that, what we call a stack, they list out the assets that they want to have in the stack, and they put proportions to that. When the purchaser actually goes and purchases the underlying stack, they go and purchase all the underlying assets and hold them in self-custody. So that way that we're not really touching the money as the money flows, and the creator doesn't actually manipulate or take custody of the funds. So there's no common enterprise. So it's a good way for people to create, just a social investing.
Cool. And is it the idea that you'd have maybe some KOLs, some great fund managers, you want to call them that would get on your platform, demonstrate the portfolio, and then others would mirror that? And would it rebalance in real time as they rebalance, or would it be kind of like a set it and move on kind of strategy?
Yeah, so there's a couple different things there, but so first, yes, there is a lot of rebalancing. You can have a lot of rebalancing mechanism with verified users. So there's some security on the platform that would make sure that you don't lose all your money if somebody rebalances into a coin that you don't necessarily want to be on. Though a lot to start, it will be manual, and you'll receive like a notification to rebalance or reconstitute into a specific index. You would click rebalance, and so that's how the mechanism.
It's cool. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And the revenue model, you take a percentage?
Yeah, we take a percent of the trades. There's also subscription models. So if a creator creates an index or portfolio, you can subscribe to them just like any token gated application. So you can pay $5 a month to see how what they're actually doing, their strategy. You can also see the entire history as they change the weightings as they do it. The chart will take into account all their different changes, so you can see the total over the lifetime of the portfolio or the strategy, how it performs. So you can actually do relative. You can go on the platform and see relatively how well they do comparatively to the market or anybody else.
So what stage of development are you right now?
Yeah, so we're doing early signups now. It's indexify.finance. We're launching a closed beta at the end of the month. So that will be based on Solana to start, and then we'll go cross-chain from there based on where the market wants us to go. But we would like to be chain agnostic at the end of the day, where investors don't have to choose where they what chain they want to be on.
And like I don't know, in terms of like users right now, like where you're currently, with the beta testing and
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up.
sure. So right now we're doing in-house testing, but in terms of like the people that are in-house testing, we're integrating Arkham Intelligence into the platform. So essentially, like you can go on the platform to start and search anyone that they deem anonymous. So they have over 1 billion attributions. And so on Solana, they have 20, I believe 20 to 40,000 attributions. So you can go and search anybody's name, copy their portfolio. It's one of the kind of easiest use cases in stock trading. Yeah, so you'll be able to go on. So that's going to be like our main testing is you're going to have 20 to 40,000 indexes, stacks, we call them stacks, already available. So it's a good load-up system for us.
It's the idea that I could go on there, see someone's weightings, just go buy it myself on Radium, and then but I won't do it because it's just a pain. I'd rather just give you the fee and
Exactly,
click
and
a
if it's
button.
actively managed, I mean, if you're talking about somebody who's like it does take a lot of research
Yeah.
to go find winning.
Yeah.
And those people there's really no real great way to monetize your time spent, like aside from you sharing your couple of chats with your buddies, right? And then they see it, but you might not even like remember that you put that in there, right? So if you just add to a stack for free and you just see how it performs over time, you actually see how valuable your time is being spent. So the fact that it's free, the fact that it's easily shareable, the fact that people can follow you, there's really no skin in the game here. You can just go do it, have fun with it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to invest.
It's like an index fund. Like I can see what's in the
Exactly.
Vanguard,
Yeah.
index fund, but I'm not going to go buy all those individual.
Is there like
stocks.
an algorithm for displaying, I guess, certain KOLs
Yeah.
portfolios? Like, how do you decide that?
Yeah, in terms of like a trending,
Yeah,
you say?
yeah.
Yeah, so there's various ways that you can do trending. I mean, like for us, it's like volume based on like how many users are actually following them. So you'll be able to see that we've invested really heavily in UI. So like the experience is almost like a moonshot feel where you really don't know that you're on shape. It's almost if we really want to push the social limits, not necessarily like that's what we're pushing that experience. So yeah, I mean, just in terms of trending, it's really based on like how many people are actually moving money. You also see trending users. So how do you have trending users? It's like how much money actually is following that person, how active are they, what's their total return, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Is there like a particular metric that you've seen is like more successful so far in terms of like users? Is it just like ROI or is it just like top KOLs?
yeah, well, we're private beta, so we're just in internal testing at this point in time. But in terms of, I would suspect that ROI would be the main metric for most people. Although, if you think about it, one of the metrics that we do have is average weighted market cap of the index. You can have an ROI of something that bought a $15,000 market cap coin, 10 of them, right? And they can 5x, right? But you can't really do that with any money. So you do have to have some type of magnitude in terms of like where, in terms of trending, how they actually.
I'm not texting just for fun. I'm texting because I hear some feedback and I just wanted to make sure it's all good. But
Yeah.
like texting with family while he's like.
No.
What are like more like mid to longer term steps in terms of like, what you're like,
yeah,
roadmap?
Yeah, my background is in asset-backed securities before bankruptcy restructuring. So, I helped write the criteria of aircraft securitization. We looked up at Fitch Ratings, the criteria of 2019. And so our belief is that in the next 10 years, everything will be different. There are no mechanisms where you can create an easily diversified basket of assets without having to go through so many hoops, right? And we want to be the first in class way to securitize or create structured products. So that means that when stocks are brought on chain, we are just plug and play. Our users can go invest in the S&P 500 or the Dow, just like that. When you want to have an agent, a financial agent, an AI agent that manipulates your portfolio, this is the best way to do it because they actually can. You don't have to give the agent money. They can actually, you can just mirror them. And at some point you can set guardrails against that. So it's really meant for the future of finance. It's meant for when you bring mortgages on chain, you want to create mortgage-backed securities where you have hedge funds actually manipulating the underlying holdings of the mortgage-backed security. They can do it individually because they hold on all the underlying assets. So when you start like thinking about structured products in the long term, like this is the primary solution for very, very granular trading and risk management for any, even institutional. So our goal is to get the product to market, let retail have a great time with it, but then go into institutional really heavily and make it so that it's super easy to trade global assets in the diversified.
How's the fee work on this? So is it one time when I sign up and then I kind of like am free after that? Do I pay each time it rebalances? Do I pay a monthly like management fee? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's two kind of like fees, right? There's one is like active fees, that's creator fees, and there's one like user fees. So for the creator, we do take like a percentage of the commission that they would have with the creator fees. If they do token gated access, we would take a percentage of that. You will be able to get yield off of your online holdings, like via like margin buying, things like that. Because you actually have them, you can do that yourself just with a single click. So we'll take a percentage. So there's certain things that the user do as they make money that we can also make money, but it's really only if the user is making money.
So if like one of the tokens in the portfolio I get is stakeable, I can stake it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
and,
one
and you'll get a cut of that staking.
Yeah,
revenue.
yeah, it's pretty.
Sure.
And yeah.
And
So it's all free. Like everything to start, you can go create for free. That's like the easiest thing. Like you can go create a
Right.
portfolio. You can go backtest, like execute an algorithmic trading strategy for free, and have somebody follow you and put money into it. You can make money without spending it.
so it's token gated. If it is token gated, it's one time. I pay once and I can forever copy your trades.
It's based on the creator. So if the creator says one time, it's one time. If the creator wants it monthly, it's monthly. It's not based on us. We don't sell.
Cool. That makes
I
sense.
like it.
Yeah, so just to break down a little bit further, so your competition, I suppose, is like the existing copy trading type of platforms out there. Is that true?
They are like a competitor.
Yeah.
I think there's no real platforms just like this because we really want the social element. We want the KOL to come show their audiences how they perform over time. We just don't see that. That's one of the reasons why we're building it. We don't see it in the market.
Mhm.
I think you could look at the copy traders. Yes, that is one, but they're very technical. You have to be very technically savvy. And honestly, they're like a black box, right? You don't really know what's happening. Very hard to do. And if somebody buys a really bad coin, you're like, I have no control over this. Like you really have no control. So those are really for experts. We want kind of that middle tier of people that are interested. They follow people. They want to invest, and there's just nothing there for them. It takes a lot of research and time to go find winners. And there's people that have spent that. It's very hard for them to either get a following or monetize their portfolio. We want them to come in. So I think that's where we differentiate ourselves is both the UI experience. The fact that we're going to market in 3 months is that we want user feedback as soon as humanly possible because we do think that there is a very strong value prop for consumers and institutions at the long run.
Yeah, you see KOLs all the time post their winners, but never their losers. And that's what I like about this is kind of bringing some transparency to that.
Yep.
And the social element, I kind of see a trend with a lot of companies that are kind of becoming successful right now, like the Pelotons of the world, and you kind of have the social element or like Aura Ring, you can share your sleep score with other people and kind of see how they're doing compared to you. I love the social element idea of this too.
Yeah, I mean, I would love, in fact, like my brother had copy traders on his wallet in 2021, and he would just put in $2 and make like 40 grand. It would be crazy, right? And like, now it's like, there was no, like everybody wanted to give us money to go manage. And we're like, we're not going to do that. Like we buy 20, maybe 100 coins a day and 99 go to zero. Like, I don't want you to really follow it, but we know that there's like 5 or 10 where we were like, okay, like, yeah, like we had a couple bucks here, but now we can go do that. They can choose whether or not they want to invest in us. And like, we want people to share their portfolios with their family and friends. Somebody asked us like, why would somebody with a really good portfolio performance use us? And it's like, well, I mean, if they have a family, they can give it to their family. Their family can invest in them without them having to touch their money. It's like an easy way for people to get onboarded. They can go test it out. They go add their favorite dog coins, or if they're more technically savvy, and utility coins. But yeah, we're here for the long term. We're here for stocks, real world assets, mortgages. This is like just the start of like what a platform can do when you start diversifying your risk.
So right off the bat, it's just crypto, right?
Yeah, digitally native assets, and I think we'll end up until we will get our licenses. And that's what we plan on doing, where we can operate almost the most autopilot for stocks where you can copy its flow season notes, which is great, and other institutions with 13F filings. That is something that we want to go, but we really are about like the next generation of finance that's like tokenized rent rolls, fractionalizing real estate through that's what we really want to get to, granular risk management, which you really can't do in the like interoperability is impossible in the traditional finance market. So like that's where we want it.
And all that's contingent on tokenization, like institutions.
I wouldn't be in crypto if I didn't think of it.
Do you think this will be mostly for large cap projects, or do you, I mean, like if it's a lot of small cap meme coins, the copy traders could be the market where it's like you don't token gate your strategy because it's if people are copying you, they could, because of the low supply, could send a token and everybody could be in on it. That seems like kind of the frenetic, crazy, maybe less sustainable version, although maybe not. I don't know. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think it's there's very different types of when you have a magnitude of traders come in. At the end of the day, it comes to like security for our users of setting alerts, setting thresholds where if something is beyond a risk, like you set your own risk tolerance, right? If the slippage is going to be 10% on all of and that's your limit, then it just doesn't go through. Like you have to manually do it. Now, if you're an expert, right, and you know that this guy that I know really well, he's really good at buying generating coins, and we know that there's 10 dog coins named X, Y, and Z coming out in the next 20 minutes. One of them's going to 100x. Put them all in a basket, put $10 into it. Try buying each one individually and tracking that and tracing it, trying to figure out which one's going to win. No, just do it all at one time. But when people move into these smaller cap coins, the risk will be like the user will set their risk limits, right? You won't be auto rebalanced if you don't want to, and so and then you can see the history of the performance. So all those different things will limit.
Yeah, I would suspect they want to. They would probably, if you can see that somebody's one of the most followed accounts, and you're like, you just bought something with very low supply, everyone's going to click yes. And I just got to be the
Is
first.
there any
one to
use
click
of
yes.
like intents or solvers on the back end?
Yeah, well, right now we're using just traditional DEX aggregators. I think over the long term, to get like RFQ systems is like absolutely solvers. That's absolutely where we want to go. We want to first like really hammer down our social investing platform, grow our user base, because I feel like that's when you have that type of user base, really like creating new things. Like we want to be kind of that base layer of creators and like people that invest, and then building RFQ systems and things like that. Like that's very, that's pretty normal. People have done it. We can do it. We can create our own DEX aggregator. It's kind of like, it's good as a commodity.
I wish we could say more as the other ones, but yeah, we're on time. Sebastian, thank you. That was awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you later or outside.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Good to meet
same. That was awesome. Yeah.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
See you after. Yeah, grab it.
Yeah. Jump.
Do you mind grabbing the next project as well? Quite a diverse range of projects, eh?
Yeah,
All
but I like
very
it.
different.
Like everything is like very niche. Like everybody's doing like something quite specific.
Hey. Absolutely.
Hello, welcome. How's it going? Nice to meet you as well. Nice. You can put the mic closer to you if you want. Nice. What's Gempo?
So it actually started from my personal backstory. I was having hair loss issues myself at the age of 21, which is very counterintuitive because when you think of hair loss, you think of like an Asian issue, a male issue, instead of like the 20-year-old girl's issue. When I looked into the space, I actually realized that's a very underserved health market. So we started building this data set with the hospital, trying to train dermatological data so that AI can run analysis data. However, we realized if we just make the hospital device they use in dermatology department like a portable version of the demonstrator code. Everybody can actually just have access to the top expert analysts. So that's how GenPop came into effect. We're building this decentralized AI deepin for dermatology, and then everybody can have an AI expert for the skin and hair implant.
That's the first time I hear of something like this. So
So cool.
let's dig in. Why deepen? How does the deepen model work? Like, just tell us more.
Sure. Yeah, when we were training with hospital, it actually took us 2 years to collect 30,000 images and annotate this hospital. Because usually these doctors are very busy, and at the same time, they're like we're doing it as a passion project. They're not paid well enough, so they don't have the motivation. However, when we launched the mini app, we got 400 organic users within 2 days. So that's what proves that actually the general public, they want this product, and they're willing to just scan contribute their data set instead of working with centralized institutes. So that's why currently we're using this deepin hardware integrating the proprietary AI model we trained so that consumers at one point can have the analysis results for their hair, like follicle density, radius, hair density, radius of flakiness or sensitivity, and actually get rewarded and incentivized for the business.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, Dylan, you're a deepen analyst. Would you maybe do this in your spare time? Would you analyze?
I actually brought the product with me.
Oh yeah.
Feel free to try it out. if
Oh,
you
wow.
want. Yeah.
Then maybe show it for the camera here.
This is our first flagship product. It's Lush Hair, focusing on the hair loss analysis. We ran hair marketing with hair down, and we also scanned the talent and Aubrey, the gray, who's also a design hair situation.
How frequently do you scan hair as a user?
That's a very good question. So actually, when we think of like the hair loss, the only FDA approved solution is monocular finasteride. That's usually 6 months to 18 months treatment, and it's a long-term process. So to actually keep track of that, currently our users scan more than 2 times a month, so they can keep track of their score for growth. Also, at the same time, we have more than 10,000 users from 15 different countries. So we're actually also getting data input from different age, racial, and gender groups. That actually makes our data way more valuable than the data we work together with Singapore hospital, because Singapore tend to be more marginalized racial groups and the data input.
So how many people have that device or are scanning regularly?
So for having the device now, we have approximately 1,200 people, and then we actually have like a selfie scan as well. So just take a picture of your hairline, and you know what the stage and the hair loss type you have, and that's so on the app we have more than 10,000.
Wow.
And what? So I know this generates a lot of data that you use for your training set. What data are you getting from the selfie? Is that sufficient, or is that really just a way to upsell somebody to that?
Yeah, so the selfie is more like, so it's like a premium model. The selfie is like an easy and free feature, while the scan is more professional. Because when you take a selfie, the lighting can be different, the angle can be different, the resolution can be different. So there's a lot of noise in the data itself.
Sure.
So it's not that valuable of a data. However, later on, we're actually also going into like skin, like for acne, eczema, wrinkles, or like pigment, and the selfie picture can be also valuable data.
Can you move the mic closer?
Sure. And I can also demo the interface real quick. So after getting into our app, connecting the hardware through Wi-Fi, and then we can actually, I'll just test my own hair. So we can actually see.
Oh, I thought you were gonna test one of ours.
You should test this guy. Look at this.
You want to try? You
Love
wanna
his hair.
I'm scared.
It's gonna tell you you're losing all your hair.
Exactly. Like, oh, it's a
It's
wig.
the wig. Yeah.
Actually, some dandruff, but it's not a wig.
Oh.
And then, and then we upload this for our pattern model to run the analysis.
Oh my god, I'm scared, guys. Okay, tell me anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that it looks great right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if our audience noticed, but just if they got a haircut deep in Jesus.
I know. I'm yeah. Bonus points for anybody that comes up with a new name for me. And
It's
it's even
still,
more.
it's still long enough to
But
qualify.
this hairstyle is very Jesus.
Oh, let's go.
You're good. Different parts of it.
Good.
Okay.
I take 77. It's a
Yeah.
good number.
So what is 100? People get 100. People get 0. Like what does that mean?
So it's 77 out of 100, but also we're like measuring 14 different parameters, including like the hair follicles, keratinocytes, oiliness, sensitivity, and skirt. The goal is to give like a holistic report so you can understand more about your hair, because hair is not just a aesthetic problem. And you look great already, but at the same time, hair is also like a wellness issue. So sometimes
Totally.
your hair tells you about like if you're getting like either fungus infection, or like some people, like for me, I was having like ABA hair loss, and that was because like stress, lack of sleep, and maybe also bad diet or not enough supplement. So that's also something we can suggest. And ultimately, we can even create like a protocol for each individual to train their own AI agent, because each people have different genetics, very different hair texture, or even when you live in different countries, like let's say you're based in Singapore, it's very humid, very hot. Well, I'm in New York right now, it's pretty cold to me, and then also less humid, so my hair and skin can also like react.
And that told you that you had a certain deficiency with nutrients, and actually came up with that recommendation.
So actually, that can actually run like projection, because let's say if you have certain hair loss issue, you might need more biotin or like vitamin D, vitamin E. While if you have like flakiness, usually you can be like using a run shampoo, or you can also be testing out different like supplements to see if that helps with your flakiness.
What was his best attribute?
So the pick for dipping Jesus is you can use some powerful like anti-drying fluid, which contains like argan oil, coconut oil, shea butter, or if you can use like something to make this like more shiny, and that contains like vitamin E.
So it's giving you a recommendation.
Yeah.
Got you.
What is the characteristic of his hair that is most like closest to perfect? That the best? Like he's got exceptional thickness or something.
So most of these metrics is all like in the healthy threshold, but like actually in the analysis report you can see like this yellow block is like where the healthy one should be and where you're at. So you're at here, and then this is like all like automatically annotated, and you can actually like measure this is the hair.
Wow.
This is how like our hair looks like it's getting annotated.
So are users rewarded with tokens for
Yeah,
uploading?
but we're gonna do it step by step. Currently, it's like a reward credit, so that we can actually give them like discount on the product purchase. The second step would be like cashback, because actually we also got quite a few users in like Southeast Asia or even like in China, so that a token can be difficult for them to trade, or like USD to USDT will be like much easier way to just give them like a reward. And third step would be actually locking out on token, and then actually also leads to the other aspect of the business model, which is like the data we have been generated from the usage is also very valuable for pharmaceutical company and cosmetic company. But for references, the last time FDA approved an anti-hair loss drug with finasteride, and that was already 27 years ago. So a lot of pharma companies are running analysis towards the hair loss issue or customer insight on the hair loss issue. So we can actually provide API access for like institutes to run analysis through your search with, or just run customer consumer insight analysis, and the token value is based on that revenue stream.
And so you're making revenue in a few places, though. Are you making revenue on the products you're selling there?
Yes.
Obviously this, but I mean the recommended products.
Oh, so this is more like affiliation for now, but later on we can also be like a marketplace. We're looking into integration with like virtual protocol, like for like commerce, like people can see, and then they can directly purchase, and then maybe connect crypto wallet to the account so that it's fiat direct purchase and delivered to their door.
Yeah, I think we look at like just look. Yeah. so it's closer to your mouth because
Sure.
sometimes like people are having a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, I also, when I
Yeah,
see this, think a little bit about Whoop as well,
Mhm.
and all the different parameters that you're putting in as a user and saying like, oh, do you sleep with your cat in your room? If so, that's like a recommendation. You probably shouldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any of that kind of input, or is that the AI agent thing you're talking about? Like again, putting in your
That's a very good question. So we're building this hair quiz thing when
Mhm.
you're logging in. It's part of your onboarding, so that when you like putting like your genetic history, like if your parents are having hair loss, or like how many alcohol have you been drinking, because surprisingly that also affects the hair loss. And are you a smoker, a cigarette smoker, or like all these data input, as well as we keep track of your routine. So we built this feature where like today your scan was like 70 something, and then
77.
you can you actually remember. Can you change that into your Twitter profile photo?
Deep in Jesus 7.
And then we will like, let's say if you're using Head and Shoulders shampoo, and then it's your routine, you can measure that. Oh, this is a product that's working for me because yesterday I was 66, and now I'm 77. However, when I'm using the other product, I was 77 yesterday, 66 today. So that's also like multi data input to make the like their own agent or our model itself more efficient, more accurate, and
yeah, and it's gonna make the data sets deeper,
yeah,
right, based off of
more fast.
exactly.
How much development have you done on like the crypto deep side so far?
I would say we're more in the beginning stage because we actually started the project as a Web2 product and already generating. However, as we're based in Singapore, because in Singapore we've got 200 masters from crypto space, and they actually got more attracted by the data value instead of itself as like a. That's when we started looking into the integration. So far, we have been deploying our Solana to like the integrations like virtual protocol for all actions together with how we make the data safer, anonymized, as well as more empowering the user itself with like real data ownership.
So data is anonymized, or
Yes,
going to
because-
be anonymous.
Yeah, because these are not biometric data, so the hair analysis report is actually the more valuable data from our outcome. However, if that's another way we're looking into, which is the user themselves can make their own, like together with their identity data and hair data and like the product they're using with the lifetime that they have into like an NFT, and they can trade it themselves with like pharma company or hair transplant clinics or like beauty products.
Okay. So that would be like on a one-on-one sale. So you'd be just selling the NFT, but you're also making revenue, right, by selling
Yeah.
everyone's.
So that's where like the scan to earn like model can be place, like where they can earn incentive mechanism.
What's the highest hair score you've seen?
Oh, that's actually a very good question. And
What's the lowest? Is it 77?
I remember that day I was at a Draper U in SF, and there was an Indian founder. He got like 88 or 89. That was the highest.
Yeah, I'm
score
not
on
that
the app.
far. I mean,
Yeah, you're good.
What's the lowest score?
The score was. It's also another Italian founder I met at GoTo Protocol event, and he was 46. But I think in my defense, it would be because it's like very sunny day, and then his hair was like super oily or something. So that led
it was
the
still
score
46.
lower. And ironic part is that his sister is dermatologist.
A lot of great crypto founders involved. So
Is bald zero, or does it take account the remaining
So,
hair?
actually, when you talk about balding has a program. So there are 7 different states according to the Norwood categories internationally recognizing like these hair loss issue can actually have 7 different stages. So when you're balding, usually like when we see like this only the top part is like stage 1. But when you're like stage 7, it's pretty much you're losing all your hair. So that's also why starting early is important for like tackling your hair loss issue, because like for example, hair transplant is a direct and straightforward procedure to like solve it, but you still need to have enough follicles, because the process is like moving the hair from your back to the front, where there's more hair coming from each follicle in the back. So if you're like stage 7, like you can't really do hair transplant completely. But when you're like stage 3 and going slowly into stage 4, you can still like have lots of different ways to like solve your problems.
Wow.
So we've talked a lot about hair, but you mentioned you're planning to do something with skin.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything else you're planning to expand into? And
Yeah, definitely.
and what devices would you use for that?
Yeah, for us, our goal is to build this holistic wellness AI, like AI agent for everyone, and especially for fem health. Because when we started the research, one thing we realized that it's most of the dermatological database, they're trained on male data, and especially Caucasian male data. So that will lead to a lot of deficiency when it comes to some female disease analysis or remote treatment. So when we are actually providing this whole like DP AI design solution to like hair loss issue, acne eczema issue, or later on early stage skin cancer, or even we can do like teeth checking, eye checking, gynecological checking at home, and you can have like the whole process affordable, accessible, and actually be rewarded from the data input.
Awesome. I guess, Fiona, thank you. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
it.
Wow. It was a very vulnerable moment. Waiting for that score, you know.
Later on, you should have one and check every.
Oh, do I don't get to keep that?
Yeah, you should
No,
keep this.
all right.
I'll send you a new one.
You probably had the highest score of anybody here. So.
I will work on. I will get 100.
Yeah. Okay.
I will pass the Indian founder and bring the Italian flag
Yeah.
high.
The Italian guy will be the highest and lowest score.
Sweet. Fiona, thank you.
Thank you so
Awesome
much.
job.
I'll definitely send you a new one
Oh.
to this office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
And you can send in the last one.
Yeah, just lily pad. Again, so diverse. The range of
Every time we do an
Projects.
episode, I just want to get everybody like.
they're all great.
I just want to get everybody to win.
Combine
Yeah.
all 5 of them into one.
Hello?
Hello.
Drone hair inspection, copy trading. Yeah. That informs your buying strategy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Pretty
Nice to
good.
meet you.
Having a great day, talking to all the other content pitches. So
Yeah.
it's been fun.
Awesome.
What's your name?
My name is Jay.
Jay. Jay. Great. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
From Lilypad, right?
Yep, from Lilypad.
What's Lilypad?
Sure. So Lilypad is a network in order for you to deploy AI models and bring
Bring the
them.
mic a little closer so everybody can hear you better. Yeah.
Sounds good. So yeah, it's a network for you to deploy AI models and then monetize them and make them accessible to other people. So if you're trying to interact with Lilypad, you can interact with our CLI or our API. And what you can do is interact with open source models. So if you've heard of like DeepSeek or Mistral or any one of those models, if you were the creator of it, you can just bring it off the network, deploy it, and it becomes a module that other people can use. So if I'm, let's say, building an application and I want an LLM within my application, instead of going to, let's say, OpenAI, where I'm paying for their API service, I'm limited by the credits, the rate limits, maybe opening my own GPU warehouse, it's a little bit out of my kind of reach. I have to worry about the electricity, the security, the GPUs themselves, which are millions of dollars to fundraise and actually deploy. So instead of worrying about all of that, we run the models on our distributed compute network. So all you have to do is you request a job, you want to interact with the LLM, sends the job over to our network. It kind of pairs you with the best compute that's available. It processes that job and sends it back. So whenever you're calling for one of these requests, you're paying with a Lilypad token, and then that token is getting split up between the person providing the GPU for you, the person who created the model, and the network itself. So the problem that we're seeing is that a lot of the people who are researchers deploying these models, they're just PhDs. They don't have the funds to do this. And if you look at their research, it's actually drying up. A lot of the grants that they use for their research is drying up. The GPUs they don't have access to. So they're coming to us, and we found that that's our like biggest user base. It's a bunch of scientists working on these AI models. So one of the first applications we've seen built on it was from Stanford. We have a machine learning scientist there that's used our protocol in order to deploy an AI oncologist. So the oncologist is trained on a bunch of proprietary like scientific research data, some stuff they want to host locally. They can still interact with the LLM, still ask it questions, and a scientist can use that as its advisor. So we deployed it. You can look at our YouTube. We have a video with scientists that actually worked on that. We're using it for protein research. We have individual developers creating their own applications for, let's say, like VS Code. We saw a VS Code extension that interacts with an LLM. We saw a Google Chrome extension come out that analyzes the pages that you're reading. My hope is that one day they just basically take that content and then read it out for people with disabilities. So there's tons of different applications. If you're someone who is a model creator and you're not sure how to monetize your models, which we've seen with Stable Diffusion, with some of these other LLMs that have sprung up. So we allow you to create them, deploy them, and monetize on our network. And that's essentially LilyPad.
And is the person using LilyPad, do I choose which model I'm using, or is it kind of just randomly selected? If let's say I need text generated, is it?
Yeah, so as part of whether you're interacting with the CLI or the API, that's one of the things that you would enter.
Is which model you want to use. Got it. And so there could be multiple different GPUs that offer the same models, and it just kind of goes out to like an auction system, or?
Yeah, so the GPUs themselves will kind of choose which model they want to support for various reasons, like geographic location, censoring, maybe they don't want to deal with it in certain businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So their GPUs, they can decide which model they want to support. And then when a job comes over the network, it sees which GPUs are supporting this, and then it goes.
Pick one randomly, or?
Sorry?
Does it pick one randomly, or does it go in order?
I'm not clear on the exact way it works. Just for more context on the DevRel side of the business, I just happen to live in New York City. And
Yeah. How big is the team?
Right now we're at about 20 people.
Yeah, great. Sweet. And it sounds like you've got users too, right?
Yeah, so we have scientists creating modules. We have people deploying applications, and then we have people interacting with their applications as well. We see thousands of jobs go through our network daily. So
nice.
Far, so good.
What's the roadmap like? It's the first time I hear, of LilyPad, so I'm surprised, but at the same time, like, yeah, what's it like moving forward?
Yeah, so we launched in a couple of different phases. We've been working on this for about a year and a half, the team. I've been joining more recently. But the first phase was getting the GPU providers onboarded. We've already done that. We're done with that phase. Getting modules onboarded, like DeepSeek, all these AI models that the public wants access to, but doesn't have access to. We've done that side of the business. Now we're going more towards DApp developers, creators, and we're actually participating in the Filecoin hackathon that's going on right now. So we held a workshop earlier today to teach people how to launch dApps and stuff. So right now our main focus is builders for specific dApps, websites, that nature. But we're also forming partnerships. We do have partnerships with Dell. AWS is looking into us. We also recently got accepted to Fortify, which is an accelerator on Tezos. So we're also continuing to grow our partnerships on the infrastructure side and also the model creative side.
So you guys are a little bit farther along than others we've spoken with today. So you're post Series A.
This is our second race we're going for. I'm not exactly sure what the classification
Sounds
is like.
about like, yeah, okay.
I'm not finance.
That's very cool. Is there a token launch coming soon?
So we do have a token launch that's coming soon. We're planning to launch this quarter. So we do, if you're a builder and you want to start getting involved, we have a point system for bounties for particular modules that people are interested in running on the network that aren't there yet. So we have a bounty system for modules. We have some community rewards if you just kind of want to participate in spreading the network. So we have a couple of different point systems that you can participate as we ramp up towards our TG.
Yeah.
You integrate any other GPU DPINs?
As of right now, no, we do not. We are a fairly collaborative group, though. So if there's someone out there that's interested, I don't see why we can't potentially work with them.
And which ecosystem were you eyeing for TGE?
So as of right now, our test net is on Arbitrum. So that's where we're testing. We're having jobs run. As far as the TGE, I can't speak to more of that. a little bit outside of my space.
Yeah.
Is there going to be more on chain than just the token?
So you can process the jobs. We have been talking about having some of the models go through ZK proofs and kind of proving that you're using a particular model, some stuff
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
So some of the model things are going on. I would say the primary use case is basically requesting the jobs, getting that job sent back. And that's usually what the token's used for. So it's more of a utility token to
Yeah.
process solution.
Got it. And I guess each node would have their own wallet or identity on chain, something like that. That's
Yeah.
what they're, yeah.
So they do
Licensed
have a
somehow.
wallet. As right now, during the testnet, you're basically providing your wallet. You're paying for the transactions, which is having the node provided to themselves. So they do have a wallet, but basically, whenever you pay for a transaction on chain, it would be sent to a smart contract that would split up the funds.
Yep. And if your company went down, disappeared, would I still be able to spend those tokens to, if that node was still online, to get data from it, or does it kind of all route through some type of like closed system?
Yeah, that's a good question. All of our transactions would be on chain. You would be able to request on chain. They're a decentralized network that's using our stuff. So if we go down, they should still be up and running. I would have to consult with the engineers.
That would be an impressive thing for any deepin this early. A lot of them have that aspiration, Demo included, but it's to get to that point. It's in some people's roadmap. It's not in others. Interesting design choice.
Could like AI agents use your modules?
So it's a good question, and it depends how you define an AI agent. A lot of things that people are calling AI agents are essentially wrappers with a prompt that's just kind of there already, which I've done on the network. Like I built a dApp last night. I actually was testing it with the group that you just paste in your wallet, and then it basically roasts your wallet and stuff like that. So you could deploy agents, bring agents to market on the platform. We are talking about working with we are talking about working with like ELIZA agents, some of those other agent frameworks that exist, and then processing, compute through us. So that is on our roadmap. But if you wanted to build an agent from scratch, there's nothing stopping you from doing that today. If you don't want to use any of the frameworks you want to do.
No, like could an agent like use like your modules to develop something themselves?
I mean, it would be a good question to see what they would develop. But with the Anura API, the agent could just call the API, get a request back, and then process whatever they need to do there. So that's one route to do it.
Gotcha. Maybe the agent can't generate video well or something like that.
Well, that would be a
it'd
great
use-
use
yeah,
case.
yeah.
Yeah, so we can have something like a video generation model that's available on LilyPad. If your local LLM can't do that, let's say you're using Claude or something like that, then yeah, you could just basically interact with the API. We would have to kind of let your LLM know what our inputs are, what is the outputs, because they also have to process the outputs and what that looks like, where to place it, things like that, especially when it's a difference between images and text. But yeah, there's no reason why it can't. And if you're listening to this, I would love for someone to deploy an AI agent on it, like you might as well.
Interesting. So, Rob, in your idea of like putting all the all of today's projects together as one aggregate project, how would LilyPad?
Yeah, you missed. So earlier we talked with folks doing drone detection, hair scanning, AI agents that can AI agent like auction market, which probably that one is the most directly relevant. So these guys, there's you would prompt like what you want. I want tickets on a train to go here. I want to arrive by this time, and they would kind of put it out there, and whoever can get it for you at the best price, best time, would win and execute that on your behalf.
That's the trading sort of like
Yes.
next.
Yeah, and then the copy trading app for DeFi, which was also pretty interesting. Struggling to connect hair and drones. The AI one's fairly obvious in terms of being able to manage a portfolio, execute real-world actions, and manage the resources to do it.
But how do we make that run on a drone where we're testing your hair?
Yeah,
It's just difficult.
I guess you would prompt the agent to collect hair samples. It would deploy a drone to do it. It would get the data and run it through your models to inform a trading strategy.
Yeah,
That
tokenize
obviously-
that and then inform the
Yeah.
trading strategy. Okay, we
It's
got
beautiful.
We've done it. Yeah.
it. Wow.
I've thought about a lot of the computer vision stuff. So like years ago, I read like a story about watching cameras and seeing like foot traffic within the store and trying to predict like what is their quarterly report going to look like
Yeah,
depending
sure.
on foot
Mhm.
traffic and like car traffic. So in theory, you could have something like that that has an AI model that's analyzing, classifying things that are passing by. Is this person how much foot traffic? And that could, in theory, lead to some sort of thesis on how to invest in that company, depending on how much traffic was getting in that area. So that is a real use case that could be.
Yeah, no, it's like useful for deciding like if you're going to put a Whole Foods in a neighborhood or something like that. They want to track these types of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Market valuation based on the like average hair score of the team.
Yeah.
Nice.
Scan the hairs that come into the store. Yeah.
Nice. Any other questions for you guys or from you guys for LilyPad? Well, what should we look forward to? Maybe next thing in like I don't know, maybe month. I mean, you have TG this quarter, right?
Yep. So I mean, that's exciting to look forward to, but I'm more excited about the tech side, especially since I work in DevRel. So for me, I'm most excited to see what people do because they're like already doing things we didn't anticipate. Like the VS Code like plugin, that was to me mind blowing. I was like, that's a whole business. That's cursor. That's exactly what they're doing. This guy did it like overnight. And then we started talking about Google Chrome extensions because I was like, hey, all these companies that are like talking to AI, they're like, can I get an AI chatbot on my website? Like, why not just make a Google Chrome extension that reads the page and now you have an AI chatbot for every page you visit? Like, we don't need to isolate it to one thing. So these kind of ideas where people are like kind of breaking the molds that they're used to, coming up with different applications, that's what I'm pumped for.
Oh, nice. Cool. Can't wait to see them live. Awesome.
That extension is cool. What is it? What is it called?
It's not deployed yet. It's not live, so we're just testing it.
Does it like store each page so you can like ask a question about like what was that article I was reading about this, and it can like, oh yeah, you were on this.
So
page.
that's a good distinction because we're doing one shot inferences. So right now it's not holding a long-term memory of like what it's like.
Yeah.
It's more so about this is the task you need to complete. Just complete that task, and that's it.
Well, that's on the developer too. The developer could use Filecoin for your the hackathon you're doing. They could store some of that stuff there and then submit that data along with the. There's probably some zk-TLS angle with this too.
Yeah, so one of our teammates actually did something like that with Filecoin. And for more context too on our team, our CEO was formerly the head of DevRel for Protocol Labs. So Filecoin,
okay.
We're familiar with them. Our other co-founder for the science side of things is Science Stanley. He's a machine learning scientist at Stanford School of Medicine. So that's how we got into the DeSci space.
Nice.
And all those customers that you mentioned, are any of them paying you at the moment?
Well, right now we're on testnet, so they would be basically paying per inference, and then we would take a cut of that inference. Since we're in testnet right now, we're not generating those revenues. We're just making sure that the economics of the network works and that the actual function works.
Gotcha.
Sweet.
That was very cool.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. That was great.
Thank you all for inviting me.
Awesome.
Of course.
See you.
Yeah, we'll have a chat after here.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Guys, that was something.
Yeah, so fun.
Wow.
So fun.
Damn, everybody should win.
No, seriously.
They're all great.
They really were.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess Dylan, Rob, thank you. That was actually. That
I
was
enjoyed
fun.
it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, those were thoughtful founders.
You're pretty good at this, man. You should join us.
I'll
more
have
often.
my own TV show.
Yeah.
Late night crypto TV show.
I would watch it.
Yeah, so this is episode 5 for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Second IRL. And we hope to do a lot more of these, maybe connect to some different conferences and just host, get a podcast studio again.
Yeah.
And and we're doing the Twitter Spaces basically every week at this point. So yeah, again, would love to have you guys.
Yeah, you guys can
jump
come
on.
up. You're approved.
Yeah.
Me and Aaron are
You passed.
approving, right? Yeah, exactly. I guess we're doing one more episode for like round 1. We have a couple more projects.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna start with round 2. So we gotta start deciding about some of these projects. Aaron. It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah. So round 2 is going to be a live stream as well, and we're going to allow the projects to show some slides, take us
Maybe
through
some
any other
demos,
material. Yeah. Whereas we've only done audio, except for I hear that this.
I'm really scared because I want to choose everybody. It's so difficult.
No, seriously, they're amazing. They're all amazing.
Sweet. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks everybody. Thanks Claire from backstage.
Thank
Awesome
you
job.
guys. I love
See you all
Thanks,
next
Claire.
time.
Good job.